Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and why I self-diagnosed myself recently with this condition, being that I was a NICU mom and now I am currently a medical mom. And I also want to shed some light on this topic just because for the longest time, I didn't know that I was carrying this condition, and I got to thinking that might be the case for someone else. Trauma can happen to anybody. Trauma meaning an event that happened in your life that really just changed your whole world because it was something that was unexpected and something that you didn't envision for your life. Even something as simple as giving birth, right? Some moms can experience trauma there. So there's different levels of trauma. Some may experience very extreme levels of trauma, such as myself in this whole journey of becoming a mom. I'm not a professional, but I do want to share my experience and what things have been working for me to cope with this PTSD. So yeah, let's talk about it. A quick backstory to who I am. I'm Jackie G. I am a special needs mom to my 3-year-old daughter. I had her through IVF. It was not easy. I had a miscarriage. Then I finally had her. Since she was born, we were in the hospital for 8 months, literally living there. Now I am a medical mom. I'm still having to go back to this hospital life that I'm so used to, which of course, I did not envision for my life. I had a different dream. So that's my story. I just want to mention that God has really put this in my heart to talk about this week because honestly, you guys, I had no idea what to talk about. Oh, I have the worst luck with this tripod. By the way, if you guys see that I'm swollen right here, it's because I went to the dentist and I had some work over here. But anyway, I was on my way to the dentist and I was praying to God, God, please let me know what it is that you want me to talk about this week. I'm trying to plan things ahead of time, but I didn't understand why I was so behind. And of course, it's because of this sleep training situation that I got going on, which by the way, if you haven't watched it, I'll link that vlog down below of me sleep training my special needs daughter. Through that came about this whole realization that it's not just her who experienced trauma, it's also us, my husband and I, who have trauma. So that's what I was thinking on my way to the dentist. I had a little bit of time before my appointment. I quickly Googled trauma for my child because of course I'm thinking about Ale first, so I'm thinking trauma for a NICU child. What came up was all these articles on PTSD for NICU parents, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is what I have, this is what we have. You guys, when God answers me, he answers me, because he not only gave me the idea for this video, but he also gave me the resources that I actually need to help me cope with what I am dealing with. It also has a name, which is PTSD. So yeah, isn't that crazy? How good is he? One of the things that I was reading is that in 2009, there was a study by Dr. Richard Shaw that almost 60% of parents whose infant was in the NICU developed PTSD. That's a really high percentage. More than half of the parents that go through the NICU can develop this condition. Also, from what I read, they were kind of comparing a war zone to the NICU. From my experience, you guys, I can tell you that it was like a war zone. There was babies dying left and right. There was babies getting rescued, CPR, resuscitation, alarms going off like all hours of the day, flashing lights, and I even got to witness a baby being disconnected because his room was right across from mine. And oh my god, that was just the worst, besides witnessing Ale coding a couple times. Yeah, it was just crazy. It was a really traumatizing experience. So that's my perspective. I quickly want to touch on some of the symptoms, recurrent memories of the traumatic event. Definitely, flashbacks are definitely something that I go through pretty much every day. Things that trigger me, which is also a symptom. Even the simplest things trigger me. Like right now, I left Ale with my mom. She was actually sleeping. She put lullabies. I was telling her like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. They used to play those lullabies, especially the ones from YouTube. They used to play those all day and all night. I just can't. Not even my husband. He's always like, turn it off. It's sad, you know, it's sad because something that should be tender, loving, and soothing for mommies and babies to hear, or parents and babies to hear, it's not for us. It's something scary for us. Yeah. It just brings us back to those moments. The ironic thing though is that my mom said she likes this. She just fell asleep, and I'm like, really? Because I've been having so much trouble getting her to sleep, but she likes it. So I guess I'm gonna have to play those now. I don't know. I'm gonna see. She might have just been too tired. I don't know. We'll see. I guess whatever works, right? I'm just gonna have to push through that. A really big trigger for me, I can't even see or read or hear about children being sick. Like, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I just can't handle that. I really can't handle that. Sometimes I will read about them because obviously I care and I want to pray for them, but I can't too much. And that was the case yesterday, where I was just bawling like a baby because I saw this video on this little girl who was like 5 years old. She had died for 5 minutes, came back to life. She couldn't believe that she was alive. She said, I love God, I love Jesus. And then she actually said to her mom, Mom, will you sleep with me? And her mom said, I'll sleep with you all day, all night, every day. And I was just like, oh my God, this is exactly my situation with Ale. It's like, who needs sleep training anyways? Like, who says this has to be? Just because society says that this is the way it's supposed to be, this is the standard. There's just so much that we are dealing with. It's different for us, at least. And so, like I said, who needs sleep training, right? I really don't know how that's gonna go, but I definitely know that from that process and from now talking about this whole thing, I feel like God's telling me, you know, take a step back and take things slower, especially with us and Ale. Excuse me, just had some tacos. Which, by the way, while I was in the NICU, I've talked to a professional before, but honestly, you guys, I knew that this girl didn't go through this experience or something near it, so I felt like she didn't really understand. What actually did help me was actually talking to other moms who were going through it with me. And so that's why I'm sharing with you my story, because I know that in sharing there is healing. I truly feel better when other moms share their stories with me. I'm not alone in this. We are humans, we are dealing with things, and sometimes we need each other to bring each other up. A professional didn't really work for me, but it might work for you guys. What helped me most was surrounding myself with a supportive community, like my family, friends. I highly encourage you to surround yourself with a supportive environment and actually talk about it, talk about your emotions. Journaling is super helpful for me. I love journaling. Express yourself. Don't just bottle it in. I guess that's what I've been doing, is suppressing my emotions and feelings about this whole situation and really just focusing on Ale. But that's when I realized, like, I have to also focus on myself, not just physically but mentally as well. There's a lot of resources out there that can help you cope with this condition. I feel like if you've experienced an extreme PTSD, it will always be a part of your life. You can find ways to manage these emotions so that you can push forward in life. Lastly, I want to say that God has really been my #1 savior in this whole journey. Faith and gratitude, really, because God has really allowed me to be grateful for what I had left and to make something of it, to really rebuild my life in a way that I can envision a new dream for myself. With Ale, his plan is definitely a lot better than what I could have ever imagined for myself. So I hope that comes clear to you guys. There's so much that you can do with God by your side. I'm just so incredibly thankful that I'm at this point in my life, in this process of restoring my life and sharing with you guys, because I want to help. I truly want to help, and I hope that I can. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this topic, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.